Hi everyone, this is Joanna Pilatowicz for you. Thank you for all the feedback and the dreams I heard from you. It is amazing, so I will tell you just a little bit more. Maybe you will be interested in that topic of creating reality, directing your reality through writing and dreaming while awake. And I will portray that on the example of Lilith, that mythological Lilith. Every one of you heard plenty of stories. I will not get into mythology, religion of it, you know it already, and there is plenty of materials in it. I will talk more from my personal experience and from my author approach to it, and yeah, my thoughts about it and what happened to me. So I approach Lilith being inspired how the so-called negative creature, or something that on the centuries, societies, cultures gave such a bad connotation to that creature and portraying it as a pure evil, and if something goes wrong, blame it on Lilith, right? First time when I encountered Lilith portrayed differently was in Margaret Sandemo books, Ice People. I don't remember exact title in English language, I read it in Polish. I love this author, and she had such a love for every creature that it was amazing. So I was really inspired to read about different entities she was describing in such a loving, embracing ways. So that was my first time when I came across different approach. The second time it was shamanistic / psychological approach to it, when instead of running away, pushing it away, rejecting that part, you are trying to shapeshift into that, understand it, and steal its power so you can become more of yourself. So that approach tells us that Lilith is us. It's an aspect of ourselves in us. We can try to get rid of it, but if it is something we see, experience, feel, it's part of us in a way. Metaphorically, it's not, it depends on what extent, it depends how it happens. So just don't catch me by words, but try to please understand my message. I hope I can make it clear. So Lilith, in my writing, that's going to be a slight spoiler, but some of you read the book already. It's when I portray her in Oracle 2, Doubtful Race of the Sun, and some of you love that character. And I tried my best really to understand the first, I followed the concept of the first woman on earth, of course, and I tapped into her freedom, her being free, her not being limited by typical limitations put on a human race. And in my books I also follow that concept that human race was created, co-created, influenced by other races, to make a human sort of a slave, sort of a workers for them. Lilith in my stories, it was experiencing, it was a consciousness that was experiencing life from the very beginning, and her idea was freedom. And that's how I portrayed her. But in my story, there are two Liliths. You probably know the concept of vampires, and I created the second one, adding age at the end of her name, Lilith, where the first one was Lilith. And I also created a creature that she had no choice. She was made the way she was made, and she had no choice about it. So she had to find her way to survive in the world that she didn't know anything about. So I won't tell you more to not spoil it to some of you who still would like to get into that book. But the two concepts, like this dark one and the darkest one, were important for me personally, as for an author, to change slightly in the society this bad connotation about entities. You know, there is a lot, like, you know, always blame it on the evil, blame it, whatever happens wrong, we can always blame it on someone else. And we have the full arsenal of demons, devils, or whatever you want to have. And some of you already told me that, and I experienced that too. There are those free ways that happening while you are going creative, whether you are painting or writing. When you are writing, the first thing that happens, it's a therapeutic. When someone starts to write, especially excessive writers, it's very, very therapeutic. You don't have a concept yet, but you just have this urge to write, and great things are coming out. And the second one is the cognitive. You are learning more about yourself, about the world. You are exploring, you are on the journey, and you are curious of what's going to happen. It feels also as you are channeling something. But the third aspect is probably the most magical one. You have a feeling as an author. You're like, you are creating worlds, you are creating realities. You are changing your reality or someone else's. So in my personal experience, it happened to me that when someone told me about his problem, and I had this urge, it happened very spontaneously, and I didn't think of really what I was doing. I wrote a little story, and within 2 months later, it was solved in the story. So I rewrote it, how it could go well, and it happened. And I did that also with my paintings. If this gift, every gift you are giving intentionally for the goodness of someone, holds a certain vibration, certain attitude. So whether this is true or not, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to leave to you, to your personal judgment, what is the truth. It's not about that. It's still our perception, but it feels good. Especially for the author, to have this feeling that maybe somewhere there psychologically or on another level, you influence something, someone, some situation positively. And we do that all the time. By the way we are talking to other people, by the way we are helping, we do influence continuously our words. So perhaps there is just a slight thought, maybe we do that on this level of our creativity. The artist, the writer, painter, singer, dancer, we bring something to other people. And if we do that intentionally to improve their life, some shamans dance health for others, right? Some people sing it for others, healing for the voice, healing for the words. And we have the whole developed system of therapy, psychotherapy connected with shamanism to that. So that part, I love to tap into that one the most. And since I am the fiction writer and fantasy, and a lot of those creatures coming into my visions, and it feels like channeling, there is a feeling very, very much that these entities are coming to change what was said about them, what happened, or they just have a slight message. So now again, whether you think, if you have that sort of dreams, visions, whether you think, is it, oh, it's just my subconsciousness, or it's maybe really happening something, or am I going crazy here, whatever that is, it's always partially coming in a connection to your personality, subconscious mind, perception you have about the world. But if it's coming to you, it means you resonate with it. It means there is something for you to explore in it. Whether is it just psychologically, whatever level you like to stay on, or you feel safe. And it has an impact on you, and it may, and a lot of people told me that it may have an impact on their lives or on the community. For example, I give you just one more example about that. I had a therapy session a long time ago about some body symptoms. We were exploring the body symptoms according to process-oriented psychology, and the therapist told me amazing thing that I never thought of, that what I'm going through is not my personal business, but it's a business of other people in a certain community that we were, through the process, tapping into. So that's an interesting for me, that not everything is just your business, it's just your subconscious mind, because we are living in a community, we are influenced by other people, we are telepathic beings, so we perceive a lot that we maybe don't hear it, but we sense it some sort of way. Just for those who, personal growth, I know many of you meditate, and what's coming with it, you have this sudden willingness to create. So you start to write, you start to paint, you start to sing and dance, and I love it. I love the paintings I saw recently from someone that just so-called started to paint, and I cannot paint like that. It looks amazing. But especially for writers, I have just this few tips, because I get already your poetry. It's beautiful. But please make sure, especially for excessive writers, when you write a lot, I personally have 3,000 pages to edit myself and get rid of a lot of garbage, because I was writing excessively for years. So you will have to edit your own things, write less. Less is really more. It will save you time. I made a lot of mistakes here. Now my editor has a lot to do, probably 1,000 more pages to edit. And I'm really trying to help to do my best that it goes smoothly. So that's one thing. Edit your work, write in the proper format with the proper tabs already, and please do use normal font, because if I get poetry in the capital letters, it's great for me, I can still read it, but you will, if you are about to publish it, not just keep it for yourself, you will have to write it from the scratch one more time. So sorry for that digression. I am perfect with digressions. It has to be, but it's supposed to be straight to the point. So one more time, creating reality, navigating your reality through writing, creativity, and dreaming while awake. Now this last part I'm getting into. So it happens that not necessarily you have to dream, and everyone who, I already did a little video about lucid dreaming, types of dreams. Please go to my playlist and listen. It might be interesting for those who dream, and you will learn about types of dreams. But what I want to say now specifically about dreaming while awake, these are those moments when you are wondering about something, and then you look at through the window, and then the sort of a film come into your way, you watching something. This is also a way where you can tap into what you want, so changing your reality to what you want, so you can direct that movie slightly a little bit and play with it. With this last part of function of the writing and function of this cognitive and therapeutic and changing your reality, I will shortly recall the Carlos Castaneda books when he was giving a perfect exercise, and I also recommend that one, to delete your personal story. Some of the psychology schools already took that into it works, because basically what you can do, you can rewrite your resume to a word, you can change. And Don Juan, the master or shaman of Carlos Castaneda, he told him, lie a lot, tell a different story. As much as it may sound weird, it has a wisdom, because you are getting rid of, not really getting rid of, but you are lessening the grip your personal story holds you in a certain frame of mind, your boundaries, your blockages, limitations. So you are, by opening yourself up to some new possibilities, you are loosening up those limitations. Think of yourself as someone you want to be and rewrite your whole resume from that. Or you can just, if you don't like writing, you can just imagine it, creating the scenario of that in your head. How would that go? And then by saying lie a lot, you are just free to create it the way you want to not put those limitations on yourself, who you have to be, who the society you're raising up made you, your belief system. You can loosen it up, and then you can see what you like from that, what feels good, what do you resonate with, and you can start from that moment on step by step, recreate, direct your reality better. So I hope that was some sort of straight to the point. Just to conclude, I was talking about this aspect of writing, how you can create, helping to navigate for your reality, to help yourself, to help those around you, and if you have a crazy dreams or about other entities, how you can also help them, whether they are part of you from your subconscious mind or they are really there. You can help it to recreate their history too, to change it, to transform it. There is another example, I will shortly tell you about it. It happened to me that at a certain point there was a vision or a creature that introduced itself as Abraxas, and I googled it. I had no idea what the heck that is. Although in the mythology, this was a god of Persian god, and he was condemned as a demon. He was demonized by Catholic Church during centuries. So, you know, the power of that culture, the religion, whether it's true or not, this creature in my vision portrayed itself as something that wants to transform, wants to go higher, want to change. Of course, I ask why through me. I don't like that. So, but I'm telling you about is that whatever that is it a vision? Is it something true for you? This is your personal experience, and it's up to you what you will do with it. But if it happens to you, then part of you resonates. So if this is slight chance of tapping into some sort of energies out there, you, by helping to transform, you also enriching yourself internally. You know more about yourself, you're gaining new skills, new powers, and you also help to clear out some sort of energy around you and maybe making it better for someone else out there. I think that was it, how you can continue with your creating a reality through tapping into vision and writing, creativity. I'm looking forward for your suggestions, your great dreams, and thank you very much for listening, and yeah, looking forward. Have a great day. Bye bye.